Hello, beautiful beings. Today, the question is materialization versus manifestation. Welcome back to Being Omni, the space to where you connect to your wholeness, your completeness, all that is you, to know that we are beyond what we could ever imagine as humans, as beings, embracing the full spectrum of light of who we are. And in the aspect of materialization versus manifestation, there is a subtle vibrational difference in this space. And, those who know me know I love words and the intention behind the words, the reason why we say what we say, do what we do. And I just want to take a moment before I go into this, is for you to say the word, either in your mind or out loud, manifestation. And then materialization. And I don't know if you can detect the small difference between the two. Manifestation, law of attraction, law of vibration. Law of vibration is what I teach. But the manifestation, manifesting, all variations have been common in our lexicon, especially for those in the spiritual community for years, decades. And it has come into my awareness that manifestation is a delayed reaction or delayed response to our energy. It is delayed in the sense of, am I certain that I want this or that to manifest, to become real for me in my life? Do I want it, whatever this is, more money, a car, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is? Am I certain that I want this in my life? And this is what manifesting is. It is a delayed response to the thought. Because you have to understand that when we have the thought, it triggers the emotion, which then triggers for us to respond, to take action. And once we have that action, it materializes, it solidifies. And so when we skip the delayed response of manifestation, we then move into materialization, which is almost instant, almost instantaneously happens, because we are full in our certainty. We are full in thought, full in our energy that this is what we want. Absolutely 100% sure this is what we want. And so how do we train the brain to move from manifesting to materialization, to step into the space of having what we want almost instantly? Less of, it's not, in the sense of manifesting where it could take, days, weeks, years, hours, whatever. When we think of materialization, it's almost instant, meaning that it's at the speed of thought. It's at the speed of what we desire. And when we allow for that energy to come up, we then say, yes, I want more. But how do we do this? How do we move into manifestation to materialization? It is when we stay in our power, when we are in our power. And this is, what the delay has been. Some of us, when we desire things to manifest, we are not 100% in our power. But to materialize, we have to be fully aware in our power, to stay in that power, to be in that space. And so the materialization of us being in the process, the process of us being in our power, you guys can go back and watch the previous episode where I talk about staying in your power. So if you haven't watched that, watch that first, then come back to this. Pick up where you left off. And when we are in our power, the full awareness of who we are begins to come in. And as this full awareness begins to come in, we create this energy vortex of energy of our desires, of our thoughts, of our energy, full awareness, full awareness, full awareness, full awareness. And we focus all our attention on that one thing. Focus our attention on that one thing that's here in our heart. We then can begin to materialize. It reminds me of some of the things that I've seen other masters and teachers do, such as teleportation and levitation. I've seen people do this, not in person yet, but it's almost to that level to where you can literally move yourself from one space of a room to another. And when you allow for yourself to have this high level of awareness, you then can begin to create, allow, materialize for anything to happen in your life. If you guys ever watched the Doctor Strange, not the Marvel movie, because it's slightly different, but if you guys, I don't know if you could ever find it now, but it's an old from early 2000s Doctor Strange cartoon, and how they utilize energy to manifest everything from weapons to shields to illusions. And it is in that space where we materialize with thought. And when we understand our true thought power, when we understand our true energetic awareness of our thoughts, of our intuition, then any and everything is possible. We then can materialize whatever we think of, which is why we have to be mindful of our thoughts. We have to be aware of our thoughts. And, it takes years to master our thoughts, which is why, we have allowed ourselves to be a little less than in this human experience when we use words such as manifest. Yes, it's a great word, it's a powerful word, but I want more. And I think you want more too. And how do we get to the more? It is by understanding the context of what we say, what we think, and what we do. And when we align these energies, and everyone taking a deep breath with me, when we align these energies with our true self, with our soul self, we can materialize any and all things. So if you have any other questions or want to have clarity around this topic, put them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to respond, connect with you, and perhaps do another video on this topic of materialization versus manifestation. Which is better? You choose. Till next time, beautiful ones. Be light. Be love.